office bearers, dear Dr. Kavita, Dr. Riaz, then Dr. Benny, Dr. Sulfi, Dr. Sugadan, all of you are here, so I'm very happy. And we have said the preamble also that why we are having this topic today. And it is very nice that within 24 hours you have come out with the program. And I feel so happy that there are a lot of participants, and Dr. Rajeshwari has also joined, the Vima leader, my own classmate from Ernakulam. So towards healthy eating style is the topic given to me. I have added one more term to that, that is responsive feeding. Now we speak about responsive feeding, whether it is newborn baby also we say about responsive feeding, and the scheduled feeding and the demand feeding is now gone. And when we speak about toddler feeding, we say this. And when it comes to adults also, we say it has to be a responsive, healthy eating style. And as Dr. Benny said, we have now moved from the pyramid, the triangle to the pyramid, now to the food plate. And today I saw in the newspaper also that the agriculture department is promoting the food plate, and they call it, I think, Poshana Taliga. So that is a new word that I heard. Okay, so why do we need food? Usually when I start school sessions, I ask this question. It is for the 3 G's. That is to go, that means for energy, for your school, your activities and your sports, etc. Then to grow, and that is why you take food. And the third thing is to glow, that is to glow and to be healthy. You have to shine, isn't it? That is why we take food. So the 3 G's, that is to go we need energy, and to grow we need protein and micronutrients, and to glow and remain healthy, again we need micronutrients. And recently I was into a meeting with the this Indian Dietetic Association, and they asked me over the last 30 years, what is the greatest challenge that you see in nutrition? I said, I am not seeing many normal children. That is the challenge. I see a lot of malnourished children, they come in search of me. And nowadays the overweight and the obese children, and see the profile of the children, how it is changing these days. I see apple-shaped children, pear-shaped children, and the latest addition is that this, I call them pillow-shaped children. Absolutely no shape for them. And then this is the other thing that we see. When even children come together, maybe for a birthday or something, they come together, sit in front of the TV, snacking and not even talking to each other. They are all into this. So this is what is we have to change. And recently I was asked to write in the Encyclopedia of Child and Adolescent Development 2020. And what I wrote is about nutrition and malnutrition. That is how we transformed from the marasmic to the obese. And you can see that the state of the world's children 2019 is also speaking about changing face of malnutrition, and the nutrition transition is happening, and Kerala is in the forefront. We have the food environment, the marketing styles, everything is changing. And there are 2 terms, new terms which has come. Food desert, what means that healthy food is not available. And what is food swamp? That is more unhealthy food is available than the healthy food. So this is the changing scenario that we are seeing. And let us look at the present. I think let us open our eyes against obesity and non-communicable diseases. This is the latest 2017 data by National Institute of Nutrition, urban data by the National Nutrition Monitoring Bureau. We can see how the color of India is changing, and the red, we are at red. That means we are at very high prevalence of obesity. And you can see this is among adults. You can see where is Kerala's here. 52% of the women and 36% of the men are overweight or obese. And it is much more than the national average. Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal are all doing better with that. And in children, when it comes to the unhealthy eating practices, is mostly because of lack of responsive feeding. So non-responsive feeding is because of 3 things. the indulgence type. That is, the child is given all the freedom and the child is given a lot of food. The child is wasting, sometimes eating. That is why the unhealthy eating practices is coming. Second is the uninvolved type. And this is very common these days. Absolutely, the caregiver is ignoring the child when the child is eating. And this is the pressurizing or the controlling or the restricting type and excess control. All these three are not going to work. Actually, this is from the FSSAI, that is the Food Safety Standards Authority of India. They have come out with beautiful booklets for school children, building a new happy India, healthy and happy India. The family time should come. The grandparent, the parent, the children all sitting together and eating. What a beautiful concept. But now it is not there. And decorating the food for the child. Serving is in a very beautiful way. It is also very important. It is said that first we eat with our eyes, then with our nose, we smell, then with our mouth. That is how we eat. So decorating the food is also very, very important. And now I come to that, when we have the food plate, and every child or the parent should be able to say that, alas, there is a rainbow in my plate. That is, what are the rainbow colors? The IMA says that platil padi padavum pachakari. So half your plate, it can be in a different bowl also, but half your food should be vegetables and fruits, and that accounts for the 4 colors, that is GYOR, the JOR part of it, that is green, yellow, orange, red. And most of our micronutrients will be met by this. And then the 5th color is brown color, that is whole grain and roots and tubers. And this color is purple color, that is the protein source. It is the pulses, non-vegetarian, and the nuts and seeds, ground nuts or tree nuts. And the 7th color is everything together, white color, that is the dairy products. And so vegetables and fruits, all the food groups are involved here. That is grains and tubers, then pulses, non-veg, that is the protein group, and the nuts, the ground nuts and the tree nuts, and milk and milk products. So if you can take this, practice this, it will be wonderful concept. And this is called the rainbow revolution. Next, we should know how to learn the food labels. Look here, one serving is 250 calories. Maybe we need only 1000 or 1500 kilocalories sometimes. And see, this product, one serving itself is giving too much of energy. And 50%, 110, almost 50% of that is coming from fat. That is not what we want. And see, the saturated fat is 15%. Anything around 20% is more. And see, the sodium, 140 milligram per serving is all what we need. This is 470, 10% is cholesterol. And fiber we need, that is 0. So like that, we must be reading the food labels when we are taking. And this is the traffic signal type of approach. That is the high sugar and the high energy we can reduce and go for the that is the low energy and rich nutrients. Multiple nutrients are there in your green food, that is vegetables and fruits. And in moderation, you can take the grains and all. And something about breakfast. If you miss breakfast and take all the food like this, lunch, a big lunch and a super dinner, you will become more obese. See here. But if you take breakfast first, you will have a lot of energy and to start the day, memory, learning, attention, everything is going to improve. Then how does it tackle obesity? That is because if you don't take breakfast, you will say, I didn't take breakfast, and there is a tendency to go for snacking. And lunch also, I'll say, I didn't take anything for breakfast, so let me eat. So overeating will happen rest of the day if you miss the breakfast. So the English saying is that breakfast like a king, lunch like a queen, and dinner like a pauper. So that is very important. And now fiber. And how much fiber do a child need? That is 5, or you can even put it up to 5 to 8 plus age. Suppose that is a 3-year-old child, 5 plus 3, 8 gram of fiber is what the child needs. And what about adults? It can be half your weight. If you are 60 kilo, it can be 30 gram of fiber. If you are 40 kilo, 20 gram of fiber. That is what we need. See here, these small 2 fruits will give you 4 gram of fiber. And the large fruit, 1 fruit will give you 4 gram of fiber. And one small tuber is going to give you 4 gram of fiber. And see, some 50 gram of green leafy vegetable also. So if the child can take any 2 items, 8 gram of fiber can be met. And then some people say the vegetables and fruits are all full of pesticide, but I have been interacting to many people from FSSAI and the Agricultural College and all. They say that that is a hype. We have not found so much of pesticide in our food. And especially if you can wash it then and there. As long as it is remaining there, you keep it in your refrigerator for 1 week, then take it out and the residues will get inside. So as soon as you buy it, you wash it. And before eating, you can peel it, cook it. If you can't do it, leave it. That is what we say. So most of the residues can be, now veggie washes are also available. So residue is not much a problem if you can wash it well the moment you get it and then store it. And hygiene is very, very important. Now in this COVID region era, we are also highlighting so much on the food hygiene and the hand hygiene and the cough hygiene, etc. And then about vegetarianism. Many people say vegetarianism is good and a lot of benefits are there, but there are some risks that we have to understand. It is more pro-nature, it is there, and less of cholesterol problems, obesity, etc. But lacto-ovo vegetarians are at low risk. And flexitarian is a term which we use for semi-vegetarian, that is occasionally they take non-vegetarian. What are the cons for the strict vegetarians, vegans? Deficiency of B12, iron, calcium, vitamin D, zinc, and perhaps best quality protein. And there are some fruitarians. In addition to this, they also lack protein and sodium deficiency. So how can you overcome this? They can add some tree nuts, ground nuts, bran of grains, germinated sprouts. Little bit of dairy, if you can add, your B12 also can be supplied. Or you may have to go for fortified food. That is, the cereal is fortified with iron or vitamin D. Now even milk is fortified with vitamin A and vitamin D. The Muralia brand and the Milma also is doing it. Then supplementation, you can take the tablets, but you have so many nutrients and how many tablets can you take? And then fermentation and pickling. Pickling, we don't generally speak it out, but we should know that nutritional yeast is a source of B12 for vegetarians. So that is the traditional practice. They pickle or they ferment it so that the vegans also get some B12. That is, the yeast will synthesize it. Okay, now regarding water. And I'm very happy that some of the schools have water drinking bell. They say that 11 o'clock and 2 o'clock they ring the bell. Now the children are at home, so it is our responsibility. We are now concentrating mostly on us and our family. Who should be the ringing the bell? The dad or the mom should be ringing the bell. That is, you finish your water. Give them water. You need 1.5 liters, so I'm going to give you 1.5 liters. Measure and give them, and they will have to finish it by the evening. So the joy of drinking water should be there. And the adults can take roughly 35 ml per kilogram. 40 ml, if you take, so 60 kg person can take 6 into 4. So 2.4, maybe some little less than that. That is the whole fluid requirement can be calculated like that, 35 ml per kg. That is what we require. So for the child also, we should be giving them the measured quantity and they should be taking it. And what about micronutrients? Do we have any programs for that? Yes, we have a program. Children are all given vitamin A, 9 mega doses starting from measles at 10 months, measles MR vaccine at 10 months and up to 5 years. Every 6 months they are given a mega dose. There is a program for folate, periconceptional folic acid, then and along with IFA tablets, iron folic acid tablet. Vitamin D, now NNF, National Neonatology Forum, IAP has agreed upon that 400 international units can be given because the mothers are deficient and the children are not having any sun exposure. IFA, we have the program. Iodine, we have a program. Zinc, we have a program. Whenever there is a child with diarrhea, 14 days this is given. Then I want to take your attention to this. That is, what is global hidden hunger index? That is cumulative deficiency of iron, vitamin A and zinc. And India is brick red. That is severe, very severe problem we are having, the hidden hunger index. And this is the global hunger index. There also we are dark yellow, that is severe. So we are having hidden hunger as well as hunger index very high. And then anemia. Anemia is a big problem. And there is a beautiful program under Poshan Abhiyan, that is Anemia Mukt Bharat. And this pallor alone is usually iron deficiency. If you see pigmentation on the dorsum of the hand, it means there is megaloblastic changes also. That means that it is a multiple deficiency. It may be B12, folate also, maybe a dimorphic anemia. So towards anemia free pink India, we have the Anemia Mukt Bharat, and we are told that we have to start the iron supplementation, pregnant mother, lactating mother, then 6 months onwards, bi-weekly iron for up to 5 years, then 5 to 10 years, weekly, junior weekly iron, and 10 to 15 years, it is the weekly iron folic acid. Then women in the reproductive age group will have to take weekly iron. That is what the Anemia Mukt Bharat says. And it is a program of 6 into 6 into 6 strategy with 6 beneficiaries, 6 interventions, 6 institutional mechanisms. And this is from one of the videos that came out. Why do you run after gold? Adolescent girl and women. When it is iron that runs in your veins, it's iron that makes you shine. Invest in your iron. And this is from the, I am now working with the Sri Mookambika Institute of Medical Sciences. They have a school, Trayambika Institute, and Trayambika Vidya Mandir. And I was called for the vegetable day. I went there and I was amazed. There was a vegetable queen. All the children had brought their own items. And at the end, they were all sharing it and eating it. What a beautiful concept. And see, this I showed during the last IMA presentation also. When I was discussing about this with my grandson, he drew this for me. That is, see, this bunny and his hero, they are all like this. They are playing. Dark. It is dark evening. And the mother of the bunny came and said, Bunny, you go and get some carrots for dinner. Then Bunny started crying. I can't go. I can't find the way. I have night blindness. Then his hero brought some carrots and he ate it. See, hi, I am cured of the night blindness. This is the child's perception of this. Sometimes children come and say, mothers say they don't eat vegetables. Then I ask them, did the teacher tell you all these things, teach you all these things just to get marks or to practice? Then they say, my child is now eating. And regarding vitamin A, is it a hype? I believe that it is a lifestyle related disease. And this was the olden times, there was some sun exposure. See, then ultraviolet A, which is used for phototherapy, comes in the early morning. And B is the one which helps us to make the vitamin D. And these are small waves which has to fall with a minimum zenith angle. That is by 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. If you get, you will get. Afternoon, that time is when you can synthesize the vitamin D. And how many of are getting any sun exposure? That to 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And ultraviolet C, anytime it is coming from the sun, and for instrument sterilization and all, you can use it. And then the cutoff also, the nanogram per ml is what we use. So 20 is the cutoff, but some may mistake it and think that 50 is the cutoff. That's why I'm showing. Then IMA and IAP, I must say, IAP is also partner in this. I'm very happy Dr. Bennett, Dr. Riaz, Priya, all are here. And so IMA and IAP have been making a lot of effort in banning unhealthy food. And now it is banned actually in schools and 50 meters of school campus premises. Initially it was done in CBSE schools. Now it is for all schools. Canteen should not be selling it. And IAP has come out with a white paper. That is, we have come out with a document and it says that we have put a new acronym, JUNKS, beware of junks. J stands for junk food, high in fat, high in salt, high in sugar. And that is, it is low in micronutrients, protein and fiber. And it is the one which you buy from most of the outlets, or you order and the Swiggy man is bringing you. That is, and this definition has been accepted. It was proposed by Michael Jacobson in 1972, and the Delhi High Court has accepted it as a definition. Anything in high in fat, high in salt, high in sugar is a junk food. Then U stands for ultra processed food. Think of the cane sugar. Cane sugar is healthy, but once it is bleached and transformed into table sugar, it is so much refined and processed. Anything which comes with preservatives in a packet food, it is ultra processed, it is not good for you. Then nutritionally inappropriate food, tea and coffee, health drinks for small children, it may contain a lot of caffeine, and then carbonated, caffeinated, colored beverages. And caffeine has adverse effect on CNS and CVS, so not good for growing children. Nowadays, many children go to, at 15 and 16, they get enrolled in the gyms and they are using these things. Then sugar sweetened beverages. 6 to 20 teaspoon sugar may be there in 200 ml. And most of us may be thinking that this fruit drink is fruit juice. See here, fruit juice means 95 to 100% fruit. The Tropicana nectar I buy is up to 60% fruit. And the fruit drink is less than 25%. We are buying fruit drink thinking that it is fruit juice. And the IAP recommendation says that up to 2 years, no fruit juice. Any fruit you want to give it as fruit itself. You can take the apple, cross cut it and then grate it and then give it to the baby. The baby should take it in the original taste and texture, not as fruit juice. And see here, the quantity of sugar, 30 gram sugar. Even the lassi has 30 gram of sugar. And the fruity has 79 gram of sugar. So much. And look at this cholesterol. Now we may think that the solid fat, trans fat, anything which solidifies at room temperature is the trans fat, which is not good for you. And we may say that it is not the cholesterol that is present in the diet we absorb. It is our bad genes which produce. But the dietary cholesterol has some relation to the synthesis. So that is what is now we are understanding. And look here, the whole day's requirement may be 1,500, but one McDonald's is going to give you so much, and one Pizza Hut is going to give you this much, more than 1,000 kilocalories. Do we really need it? And look at the previous diet. Now double-deckers, offers, etc. 100 gram, 100 kilocalories. That will be the best. And you can see that this shake is giving you 600 kilocalories. And the McDonald's is giving you 1,265. So we have to be very careful. And this is something we designed for a school program. And we give them all these things. Find more snakes and more ladders to healthy food. That you can give to the child, and it will be a good exercise for the child. We can do it together. See, the snake means you end up with the malnutrition, or you end up with obesity. And now I was asked to talk about health consequences of obesity, and then I realized that I take any English alphabet, there is something bad with obesity. I'm not going to tell you everything, all of you know. We are all informed about this. And when you lose fat, head to toe, every organ is going to benefit. That is my point. And this is a simple chart which I designed, and this has been published in 2003 from the Journal of Tropical Pediatrics from Oxford. See, this is a 3-in-1 chart. your height is in your x-axis, your weight is in the y-axis, and this is a built-in BMI. So if you are 160 or 150, height minus 100 is your best, weight plus minus 5. So if I take 150 minus 100, it is 50. That will take you to a perfect BMI of 22. And you know now the cutoffs are 23 and 25 for overweight and obesity. And see this, the Yudkin-Yajnik paradox. Both of them are having BMI 22.3. But when they stood on the fat analyzer, the Yudkin is having, the Caucasian is having only 9% fat, whereas the Indian is having 21% fat. And this Chittaranjan Yajnik came out with thin fat Indian. That means we have central obesity. So we have to be careful about BMI may not be useful here. We may have to go for the waist hip ratio, waist circumference, and also in bodybuilders, BMI is not very useful. And now coming to immune boosters. We understand that the Chyawanprash and all, the sale has gone up several fold, and everybody is asking, what shall I buy and give? And see, look, we must know some more knowledge into the immunity. When you boost, what are you boosting? Are you going to boost the health of your skin, or are you going to boost the secretions, more droplet production? Are you going to boost the macrophages, or are you going to boost the cytokines, inflammatory response, cytokine storm, we don't want. Then are you going to boost the lymphocyte B cell and the adaptive immunity, or T cell? And antibody dependent enhancement is said to be bad for COVID season. So my plea is that say yes to optimizing immunity and not to immune boosting. Even Amrit, the nectar of immunity, is a poison in abundance. So see that you don't have any deficiency. You take a balanced diet. And Natasha's law is something in UK, they say that all the ingredients will have to be listed. In our place, some of the ingredients may not be listed. And this is for food allergy people also, gluten or something, but listing everything. Sometimes Ajinomoto is there, but it is not written sodium monoglucate, or they won't write it as Ajinomoto. They will put some code number, 0049 is there, something like that. So we have to be very careful. And the 3 G's for iron, grams, grains, and greens, but bioavailability will be less than 10%. So the heme iron comes there. And it is said that if you take a guava with it or vitamin C with it, you will absorb it better. And if you take tea and coffee, you will not absorb it. And but amla, the Indian gooseberry, is said to have more polyphenols, which is an anti-nutrient to iron. So that is a new information which the National Nutrition Institute is giving. So vitamin C as such, or the guava is said to be better than an amla. That is it. Vitamin A rich food, we know. I need not tell you all these things. Decomplex. So what if you include all the food groups, you are going to get it. And zinc is very important. Selenium is very important. Copper is important, and vitamin D also. So I come to this. That is the immune system bridge. The bridge of immune system is made on the pillar of heredity, nutrition, immunization, then sex. Of course, the male sex have more of immunodeficiency, and the female are at advantage because of the X chromosome, adaptations, and exercise. Exercise is the strongest pillar. See here, immunosenescence is one condition. They say that as age advances, your immunity will come down. The only way to keep it up is by doing the exercise. So our immune boosters will be nothing like anything which is bought, but it will be good sleep, good exercise, and good food. And exercise is very, very good because it is going in aging. And India is a young India, and Kerala is an aging Kerala. The average age is more than 50 years. And so good exercise is very important. And even for children, now we used to say less than 1 hour screen time, 2 hours screen time, but now we say non-academic screen time should be reduced, because everything is academic is on screen time. So it is getting very much more. So my final advice is that go back to your grandma's smart cooking. What is smart cooking? It is a mnemonic, soaking. If you soak your grain or pulses, the germination will start and it will become easily digestible. Cooking becomes easier and your micronutrients are going to get better. Malting is just allowing it to sprout. Micronutrients are getting, anti-nutrients are coming down. And amylase rich food is that if you take the sprouts, then just sun dry it or just heat it up to 70 degrees. Otherwise, the amylase will go. And then powder it and keep it. And to any item you make, if you can add little amylase rich powder into it, the bulk of cooking will come down. You take little 2 spoons of ragi, cook it, it becomes 6 spoons or 4 spoons. That will not happen. Then, so SMART is the traditional practices. That is, go back to steaming, boiling, parboiling, sorting, simmering, shallow frying, fermenting, pickling, we said. Reduce oil intake. Use oil whenever possible at room temperature. Reduce reheating of oil and reusing of oil. If you are making papad, make that first. Put it in an airtight container and use the rest of the oil for that day's cooking. Don't store it for tomorrow's cooking or that week's cooking. And rotate the oils. See, some 30% of energy can come from fat. And saturated fat can be little less than 10%. Mono unsaturated 10% and polyunsaturated 10%. So we can have saturated fat. That is, coconut oil can be used in moderation for deep frying. That is the best because oxidation, peroxidation is not going to happen quickly with coconut oil. Then sunflower oil for shallow frying because it is PUFA oil, it will be oxidized fast. Olive oil for salads and dressings. Gingerly oil for pickling. So rotate your oils. And PUFA oil also, I want to tell that there is omega-6 to omega-3 ratio should be maintained. 5:1 is the best, or 10:1. And omega-6 is pro-inflammatory, omega-3 is anti-inflammatory. See, the saturated fat is the solid fat, the animal fat, the coconut and the palm oil, less than 10%. MUFA, peanut, olive, etc. Sesame, gingerly oil, that can be 10%. Then PUFA oil is 10%. If you take sunflower oil and don't take the omega-3, your omega-6 to omega-3 ratio will be 56:1. So omega-3 is going to come from fish oils, walnuts, flax seeds, and soybean canola oils. And trans fat is that which will solidify at room temperature, animal fat, dalda, vanaspati, etc. Then people may ask, what about ghee? Ghee has only 4% fat. And I have written all this as Muttachiyude Ahara Reethiyilekku Madangam. This is there in the October issue of IMA Nammada Arogyam. So I come to the end. That is my plea is that remember the mantra 108, 108, 108. That is a tender loving care or a therapeutic lifestyle change for all of us. So 1 hour of exercise, 0 junks, 8 hours of sleep. If you can practice it at least 5 to 6 days of a week, I think it will be a great success. So my plea is that are we ready for a behavioral change? And the change should come from the family. That is from the adults, and we have to show role models. Now children are all 24 hours, 7 into 365 into 24, they are with us. So we have to have the role model. Thank you very much for the patient listening. I think I will stop the share here, and thank you very much for the patient listening.
Thank you, madam, for an excellent presentation. Actually, you have narrated most of the theories of macro and micronutrients very well, and also the malnutrition ranging from the undernutrition to overnutrition. We all know nowadays most of the non-communicable diseases have got remission from the proper diet pattern. Even the diabetes can be reversed, hypertension can be reversed. Most of the non-communicable disease associated with obesity can be reversed by the right proper diet, especially the IMA supported, IFSA supported MyPlate diet pattern. I have a question. There is no questions in chat box. I have a question, madam. Actually, the human being, the only animal in the globe using milk after our infant period is only the human being. No other animal in the world is using milk after a period of infancy. Uh, actually, we human beings are using milk for the entire life. We have lot of studies regarding the use of milk during our in adult period and even after the age of 50 years. What is your opinion regarding the effect of milk, like insulin like growth hormone and animal like modern animal like aging? What is your opinion regarding the use of milk in the form of a lot of tea and also a lot of milk products, cheese, butter, curd, lot and lot of milk product? What is your opinion, ma'am?
So that is letting the Pandora's box open. No, that is it. So I think a lot of difference of opinion is there regarding the use of milk among adults. It is a source of protein and calcium and phosphorus and most of the micronutrients. That is why we are still promoting it when the masses of our population cannot afford a rich food which may be a substitute for this. That is why it is that is being used. And we know that the enzymes that digest milk may reduce after as you age. But if you are going on taking it out of necessity, that may be still retained. That is what they say. We may be still digest. Some people say only child can digest milk. But out of necessity, if you're going on taking it, but if you stop taking it, maybe that enzyme may be washed off and that may not come again. That is one thing. And if the National Institute of Nutrition is also saying that the American Academy of Pediatrics says that don't introduce milk or milk products up to 1 year of age. But the NIM is telling that after 6 months, as a protein and a calcium source, we can add it because problem. Allergy or asthma in the family. Okay, then next question is about, is it obesogenic? The glycomacroprotein, GMP, in the milk is obesogenic, and if it is taken very early before the immune system develops, that is immune system settles, leaky gut is there up to 6 months of age in a baby, it is a leaky gut. No amino acid is foreign to us, but if you absorb a polypeptide or a protein as such, you may get sensitized. So the glycomacropeptides you may have a tendency to absorb if it is introduced very early, and that is said to be very obesogenic, as well as it can damage your beta cells, and type 1 diabetes can come early. That is all there. So, but once the gut is mature, if you give, I'm telling based on what knowledge or evidence is available now. Maybe more research is needed in this regard.
Thank you, madam. As our president, Dr. Bennett, has to join another meeting, I invite Bennett Salem sir for his comments. Actually, I should apologize to him also, because being in the double role, I actually forgot to invite him specially for this meeting. I thought he is also in the same floor. Over to Bennett sir, please.
Thank you, Riaz. Actually, ശരിക്കും ഞാൻ ഒരു 6 മണി കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടാണ് അറിഞ്ഞത്. പിന്നെ അത് കുഴപ്പമില്ല, കാരണം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഞാൻ അറിഞ്ഞില്ല എന്നുള്ളൊരു പ്രശ്നം മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. അല്ലാതെ റിയാസ് എന്തായാലും ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ഇട്ടപ്പോഴേ തന്നെ അങ്ങനെയാണ് കണ്ടത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് പ്രത്യേകിച്ചൊന്നും ചിന്തിച്ചില്ല ഇതിനെപ്പറ്റി. എനിവേ, താങ്ക്സ് ഫോർ ഇൻവൈറ്റിംഗ്, എസ്പെഷ്യലി ഡോക്ടർ കവിത ബീയിങ് എ ചെയർ ആൻഡ് സെക്രട്ടറി ഡോക്ടർ റിയാസ്. ഇറ്റ്സ് ഒരു നല്ലൊരു ബിഗിനിങ് ആയിട്ട് എന്തായാലും കഴക്കൂട്ടം മാറുമെന്നുള്ളതിന് യാതൊരു സംശയമില്ല. നല്ലൊരു തുടക്കമാണിത്. പ്രത്യേകിച്ചും മാഡത്തിനെ പോലുള്ള ഒരു സ്പീക്കറെ വെച്ച് ആദ്യത്തെ ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാം തന്നെ നടത്താൻ പറ്റിയത് വളരെ നല്ലൊരു കാര്യമാണ്. മാഡത്തെ പറ്റി പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ ശരിക്കും മാഡത്തെ ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുള്ളതാണ് എൻ്റെ ഒരു കർത്തവ്യമായിരുന്നത്. അത് ആ സമയത്ത് പറ്റില്ല, എൻ്റെ നെറ്റ്വർക്ക് കണക്ഷൻ എല്ലാം പോയി. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ആ സമയത്ത് വരാൻ പറ്റാതിരുന്നത്. എന്തായാലും മാഡത്തെ ഞാൻ ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്നത് തന്നെ വളരെ ഒരു മോശമായ കാര്യമായിട്ടാണ് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നത്. കാരണം എല്ലാവർക്കും അത്രയ്ക്ക് അറിയാവുന്നുള്ളതും വളരെ ബഹുമാനത്തോടെയും മദർ ഓഫ് ന്യൂട്രീഷൻ എന്നും എസ്പെഷ്യലി പീഡിയാട്രിക്സ് ലെവലിൽ പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഒരു നാഷണൽ അഡ്വൈസർ ഓഫ് ചിൽഡ്രൻ ആൻഡ് അഡോളസന്റ് ന്യൂട്രീഷൻ മാഡം ആണ്. ഞങ്ങളെല്ലാം വളരെ ആദരമായിട്ട് കാണുന്നത് മാഡത്തെയാണ്. എന്ത് കാര്യം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും ന്യൂട്രീഷനെ പറ്റിയുള്ള വേറെ മാഡത്തിനോട് ചോദിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ എന്നെ മറുവാക്കില്ല എന്നുള്ള ഒരു രീതിയിലാണ് മാഡത്തെ കാണുന്നത്. എന്തായാലും ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു അവസരം IAP ആയിട്ട് ലിങ്ക് ചെയ്ത് IMA ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു നല്ലൊരു കാര്യമാണ്. നമുക്ക് ശരിക്കും പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഞങ്ങൾ IAP സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം IMAയിൽ ആക്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളവരും IAPയിൽ ആക്റ്റീവ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ആൾമോസ്റ്റ് സെയിം ആണ്. മിക്കവാറും ഒരേ ആൾക്കാർ തന്നെയാണ് അവിടെ ഇവിടെ ആയിട്ട് ആക്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഈ ഒരു കോർഡിനേറ്റഡ് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് ഒത്തിരി കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മളെ സമൂഹത്തിൽ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് നമ്മുടെ വൈസ് പ്രസിഡന്റ് ഡോക്ടർ സുൽഫി ഹെൽത്ത് സർവീസിലെ ഡോക്ടറും കൂടെയാണ്, എൻ്റെ ഫ്രണ്ടുമാണ്. നമുക്ക് നല്ല രീതിയിലുള്ള ഈ പ്രോഗ്രാം ഇന്നും തുടർന്ന് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുള്ള ആഗ്രഹത്തിൽ നിർത്തുന്നു. എന്നെ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് ഇൻവൈറ്റ് ചെയ്തതിൽ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് നന്ദി റിയാസിനും ഡോക്ടർ കവിതയ്ക്കും നേർന്നുകൊണ്ട് നമുക്ക് പ്രോഗ്രാം കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്യാം. ഇനി അടുത്ത മീറ്റിംഗ് ഉണ്ട് ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു സ്റ്റേറ്റ്. റിയാസിനും പങ്കെടുക്കേണ്ടതാണ്. എന്തായാലും തൽക്കാലം ഞാൻ നിർത്തുന്നത്. താങ്ക് യു മാഡം.
Thank you.
Madam, there is a question from Dr. Rajesh. In the SARS-CoV-2 scenario, people are staying indoors. What is the recommendation regarding the vitamin D? It's a question from Dr. Rajesh.
That is a good question. Even before COVID era, all of us were mostly indoor. So I don't think the doctors are going to have a little more problem with this. And previously, we were because of official reasons we were indoor. Now because of COVID we are indoor. So, but what prevents us to come out into the sun? But when there is an alert that this is a very burning type of sunburn is happening, that type of time we should not go out. And we are colored people, no, wheat color or dark colored people. So we need more sun exposure, and our body is able to regulate it. But if you are taking the tablets too much, body may not be able to regulate it. So hypervitaminosis D can happen. That is coming up. Even we have seen in some children also. We have to be very careful about it. And I want to tell you that the National Institute of Nutrition and ICMR has come out with the 2020 revised guidelines for RDA and the requirements. And in that they have clearly put the tolerable upper limits. I think it is some 2,000 international units per day. So if that is 2,000, and for children, adults it is 4,000, I think. So if you go on taking 60K every week, it can lead to hypervitaminosis. But luckily, the bioavailability from the tablet is said to be very less. One syrup form is there, which they say, I think Binoy is smiling. So maybe some doctors come and say, I've taken 60K many times, but my vitamin D is still low. That may be because of the bioavailability, but beware of overdose with that.
There is another question from Dr. Tigis. Which is the best cooking oil for child food? And especially there is is any choice like a sunflower or a coconut oil?
I think
any chance of
mentioned that
soya protein,
whether it is a child or an adult, 30% of your energy, little less for adults. If you are on a diet, little less than 30% of your energy can come from fat, that oil. And the oil, it has to be 10%, little less than 10% is saturated fat. Coconut oil is a saturated fat. So 10% of the cooking can be done there. That is deep frying. I am not recommending every item should be we use as deep frying. No. Then another 10% can be from the MUFA oil. So we will have to choose the gingerly oil or the canola oil or olive oil like that sometimes, or for dressing. And 10% can be from the PUFA oil, that is sunflower oil. But sunflower oil is omega-6. Previously, we were thinking that PUFA, all 10% can be omega-6. Now we are very careful. It has to be a ratio between omega-6 to omega-3. And omega-6, I said, is pro-inflammatory. And in the COVID era, you know what inflammation will mean. Those who have suffered, those who have gone into the fire, the critical stage will know what is inflammation. And it has to be a balance with the pro-inflammatory and the anti-inflammatory. So fish oil, because we are taking fish, we may be getting, but the vegans will have to think of other sources. That is why I included a detailed slide on that. So it is same for the child and the adult.
What is the residual starch in Paranganyi?
That is, I think that's a very good question. Going back to your grandmother's cooking, that fermenting, that is happening there. It is said to be the best diet. If you can take little the cereals, it is a source of energy, as well as it is when it is fermented, maybe the complex starch is broken down into some of the more digestible fat. But I can't say it will be broken down into sugar. And then if you take some protein also, some pulses or some protein source also and take it, the Paranganji would be the best, because it is as per the traditional cooking practice I said, and even vegetarians are going to get some nutritional yeast out of it. Digestibility is going to improve.
Another question from Dr. Renchida. Is rice bran oil healthy?
Rice bran oil is has got some advantages, but I am a little apprehensive about the process of making it. It is said that it is extracted with petroleum. So I think we may have to do some more research on that. What about petroleum residue in that? Am I right, Dr. Benny? I think if you go to the rice, that rice bran oil factory, they extract it with petroleum. So residues, whether they are checking for the residues and this much level is permissible, will be there. So that sort of a research has not come in there. Otherwise, it is good.
Madam, there is a one question from me. Actually, it is a controversial question. Actually, no animal in the world, especially the healthy animal in the world, is using grain as a part of their diet. Before the invention of the fire in the Paleolithic era, we never ever used grains as a food source. Only the bird population using grains as a food source previously. No animal in the globe, including the tiger, lion, any animal in the world, they never ever using grains as a food source. What is your, actually we were in the jungles, we were lived before the invention of the fire. What is your opinion regarding the use of, actually most of the people think that the carbohydrate content is should be from the grain. They never ever think that the carbohydrate is also available from the vegetables and also from the fruits. But most of them thinking that the carbohydrate means grains. What is your opinion regarding that?
So I think that is, as you said, it is controversial question. I agree. But you know that the lion or the animals you said, most of them are carnivorous animals. We are now saying that if you want to be pro-nature, you have to be more towards. So why not we become a bird like? That is my question. And agricultural reforms are there so that now grains are available. So it should be a judicious mix. Don't over it. That is what. And it is said that if you, and the rice culture means we cook in large quantities, serve in large quantities, eat in large quantities. Whereas if it is chapati, it is numbered. So that is the advantage. So we have to have some check. I think now most of the people have reduced their rice intake than the previous days. They were, the sadhya means a huge amount of rice was served. No, that the carb content should come down because the glycemic index and the glycemic load has to be brought down. All of us are either pre-diabetic or already diabetic. So we have to be very careful, and our children are also following our footsteps in a earlier way. That is at 15 and 16, they are already into metabolic syndrome. So we have to be very careful. You said that the grain intake should be cut down. but I don't think we can, we need to do away with it. Then what will the masses of India eat? You should think of that. What will they eat? Pulses are very costly. Fruits are costly. Non-vegetarian is costly for them. It is not available to them. So we have to be very generous with our masses of population also. That's what
4 months protein is cereals.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. Is there any question from
Elizabeth.
Kalkutam, any other branch?
Yes, madam. Sulega, madam, I think.
Any questions?
Sulega, madam, can you unmute?
Elizabeth, a wonderful talk.
Thank
So
you,
nice.
sir. I can see it. So,
I enjoyed. Pinay, I want to ask you one question.
Madam, please. ഉറക്കെ പറഞ്ഞോളൂ madam. Madam, കേൾക്കാമോ?
I think she has some connectivity problem.
Okay. മാഡം ആക്ച്വലി ഒന്ന് ഞാൻ പറയാം, നമ്മൾ കാലത്ത് തൊട്ട് തുടങ്ങുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഇപ്പം ദോശ കഴിക്കുന്നവരും അതേ കണക്ക് ചപ്പാത്തി പലതും ഉണ്ടാവും. അപ്പൊ കാലത്ത് ഒരു പ്ലേറ്റിൽ എന്തൊക്കെ എടുക്കാം മാഡം? അതേ കണക്ക് കാലത്ത് ഉച്ചയ്ക്ക് രാത്രി എന്തൊക്കെ എടുക്കാം?
So I would say that your plate should be complete on a daily basis. ഓരോ നേരവും every meal you cannot complete your plate. So your plate should be complete on a daily basis. Nowadays, what I tell is that morning, if you are making up your grains and your protein source, okay, and then by evening when it comes, you need less food, no? So make you a bowl of vegetables and decorate it with little fruit. So I don't like cucumber, but if I am given cucumber and watermelon, I will eat both together and enjoy it. So make it like that, very attractive serving. So on a daily basis only you can complete your food plate.
Okay. Any other questions?
Chocolate is there.
Madam, your message for the IMA doctors. What is your message for doctors?
You have chosen a noble profession, and in this difficult time you are working very much. Think of your family. We have to set good examples and think of yourself. Give some tender loving care to yourself. That is healthy. That's what I said, the mantra, that exercise, healthy eating, and the sleep, everything. That is the message. 108, 108, 108. And we are the most unhealthy and the most difficult patients also, no? We are unable to complete any antibiotics or any course of medicines. To follow instructions, it is very difficult for us. So we have to be very careful. And recently the highlight is that if I had known that I am going to live so long, I would have taken better care of myself. You know, our longevity is going up. So we have to take better care of ourselves. Give some time for the family, then the 108.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Can we conclude?
Yes.
Yes. Like all good things should come to an end. Madam's talk also. So please visit us again, madam. I will call you again for some other session later. And now we will conclude with a vote of thanks from our treasurer, Dr. Asha. Dr. Asha.
Kekamo, sir?
Yes.
Okay. It's a great privilege to propose a vote of thanks today in this meeting. We had a wonderful and informative presentation by none other than the great Elizabeth ma'am. Let me move on to my formal duty. First, let me extend my gratitude to Dr. Kavita. I don't know if I should extend my gratitude because she is the captain of the whole ship. And ma'am, what a way to begin your innings. You have got none other than Elizabeth ma'am, mother of pediatric nutrition and academician par excellence as a guest speaker for our webinar. For formality's sake, let me say a big thank you to you, Kavita ma'am. Next, very big thank you to Elizabeth ma'am for accepting our invitation and giving us such a wonderful presentation. You have given us all that mantra. I think everybody who goes home today will remember your 108 mantra, ma'am. And everybody, I think, after hearing ma'am's session would implement it to your lifestyle also. Thank you very much, ma'am, for your wonderful session. Next, I would like to thank Dr. Sulfi sir, our IMA South Zone Vice President, for his kind presence for inaugurating the session. Your presence added extra grace to our session, sir. Let me also express my gratitude to Dr. Bennett sir, the President IAP Trivandrum, Priya ma'am, IAP Trivandrum Secretary, and all the respected members of IAP Trivandrum who have shown kindness to join us on our first webinar session of Kadakutam IMA. We are all inspired by your great support and presence, and we hope to meet you all in the next meetings very soon. And now my pleasure to thank Dr. Benny sir, again our own member, Vice President, IMA Food Safety Initiative, for moderating the session. He is an expert himself, and thank you sir for moderating the session. The success of any webinar or CME for that matter is totally dependent on the delegates who attend and extend your support to the webinar. I thank all the leaders of IMA and IAP, all the delegates, all members from Kadakutam IMA as well as from other branches of IMA who have taken your time out to come and attend our first webinar of the year. Very many thanks to all of you for showing your kind presence here. And last but not the least, Riaz sir, there's always a good chief officer to the best captain. So in a short span of hours, I think he and Kavita ma'am has together brought this webinar to form, incorporated IAP as well. Hats off to you sir and ma'am, and thank you everyone who has come, joined and made this webinar a big success. Thanks. Jai Hind, Jai IMA.
So with everybody's permission, I shall end the meeting. Good night and take care. Thank you.
Right.
Bye-bye.